Okay, now we're ready.
Nice.
Welcome,
Welcome.
welcome
Welcome.
to the Unhinged BookCast, a podcast hosted by Jess and LJ, who love all things fantasy books. I'm LJ.
And I'm Jess, and we're happy to have you back again.
Whether we're deep diving into thoughts and theories or just riding the vibes, we love discussing our current reads with each other and now with all of you.
Tonight we are finishing up reading book 4 in the Blood and Ash series by Jennifer Armentrout, chapters 34 through the end of The War of Two Queens. This will be another spoiler-free series as long as you've read through our current reading section.
Speaking of which, now you can discuss with us spoiler-free, chapter by chapter in the club on the Fable app.
Also, please do all the things liking, following, and subscribing on all of our platforms.
These are romantic fantasy books that are intended for adults. We will be talking about war, gore, and no pants dances.
So this is your content warning. Our discussions are not suitable for little listening ears. We hope you are all reading along with us, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts and theories as well.
Let's get into it.
All
So,
right.
since you like my little recaps of what we're doing,
I
so where
do
we
like your
left
recaps.
off last time, we have Kieran, Reaver, and Poppy, and they go to the temple where they find Malik, because mind you, we're looking for Castile,
Right.
and Malik agrees to help them find Castile because he knows where they are, where he is. So they get Castile out. He's full of bloodlust and everything. So they knock him out and they get to the safe house of dissenters that Malik knows. And they are able to bring Castile out of his bloodlust, but not the regular kind of lust. They can't, that one takes a little bit more time. Oh, and Castile drops the bomb on Poppy that, surprise, she has a big sister. So
Right.
that's where we're headed when we go into chapter 34.
Okay.
We are having a what I'd like to call a family meeting. We
Mhm.
have Kieran, Poppy, Castile, Malik, and Uncle Reaver. Okay. And we're in this kitchen, we're eating biscuits, all that. And she is a primal born of mortal flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
And
that is
then,
all I had. So you go ahead.
yeah, I know you're good. So I'm not going to read the quote I have here, but basically Poppy's thinking about Millie's hair.
Mhm.
Um, because Castiel's telling her how like she washed the dye out of it and it's not black, it's like this white blonde color. So she's thinking about that, and then she makes a possible like connection between Millie and the consort because she's seen the consort in her dreams and she's like, that's the same kind of hair.
Mhm.
Um, I took this down as a note because I think it was just in the last episode that you were like, maybe she's the consort,
Maybe she
which
is the consort in
we
like a mortal body, even though,
right.
yeah.
Which we learn lots more about that later, but in this chapter I was like,
But hold on that thought really quick, just because you
okay,
brought it up.
all right.
So didn't it at the end say that Millie took the fuck off
She
when
did take off.
she calls Serafina?
Yeah, that's true. She did
But she
take
hadn't
off.
hasn't been seen since.
Okay, so maybe
I'm
you're
just
not
saying.
wrong.
I'm
Maybe it's
just
not
saying.
debunked yet. So, okay, but then I kept going down this bunny trail thinking about the trying to connect Millie and the
Yeah.
consort and Poppy. And so Cass says that Millie has way more freckles than Poppy, that they're very similar looking and whatnot, but that she has way more freckles, but looks the same otherwise. So then I'm thinking back to Shadow in the Ember when Nyktos tells Serafina that he counted her freckles. There's 36 of
Yes.
them.
Just to make sure he counted them again. Oh my God, I love that part.
Okay, so then I went further down this bunny trail and I was like, hold on a second. If Millie and Poppy, okay, hold on. If Millie is Serafina, the consort,
Hmm.
Serafina was the consort to Nyktos.
Uh-huh.
Malik and Iris are Serafina and Nyktos' kids. But Iris is also Millie and Poppy's father. So does that make I got a really straight family tree, guys, like a phone pole family tree going on here.
Kind of.
Like, does that also make uh Millie is her father's mother? R- Right?
Wait.
Because if she's the consort,
Yeah, that'd still be Millie's grandma.
that would be Yeah. But if
Okay.
Millie is, yeah, I went way too far down this bunny trail, so I had to throw that in there. But, anyways, oh, Isbeth tried to ascend Millie with Castiel's blood, I guess, the last time he was held captive.
Right.
And, but it wasn't strong enough because he was malnourished and all that kind of stuff. So his blood wasn't strong enough. So that's why Millie is like this quote unquote failure. That was
Mhm.
all somewhat confusing to me.
It
Basically,
was
though,
for me
she
as well.
did die. So, like, they
Yeah.
tried to ascend her, it didn't work, she died. And then that's when Callum taught Isbeth how then to, like, make her into a rev instead. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, Millie is the first, well, she's not the first revenant because we learned in the other, in the Flesh and Fire book that
There's more.
Colas was
Yeah.
making them, which would be why Callum knows how to make them. Yeah, we need to move on because there's so much
Yeah.
more here
Yeah.
in the later chapters. Let's go to 35,
Let's go
unless
to
you want to say
35.
anything else.
Nope, we're good. Let's go to 35. Okay, so chapter 35. We have this team meeting the next morning. I don't know. I think this is still the same day. Team meeting that morning in the kitchen, right? Over
Hmm.
breakfast and biscuits, of course. So we find out that Malik is the shadow man from her dreams.
Yep, the dark one. And
Yep.
you, I think, originally called that.
I think so, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take it. I'll take it. But he is the one that tried to kill her, but not the one that tried to take her into the woods or did take her into the woods,
Hmm.
which is very interesting and it comes back up later. So now we have the bitch and golden boy show up, right? As they're
Yeah.
trying to flee. And it's kind of a big deal. So I don't know if you have anything before the end of that.
The only little thing that I had before Isbitch and Callum show up is I love how okay, so Malik admits that yeah, he was the quote unquote dark one. This one
Mhm,
that showed up. So he's the one that was speaking with Cora. He's the one that Poppy remembers watching Cora like pull the dagger out of her boot and like try to stab and all that.
mhm,
Um, so that was Malik. And so Cass obviously is finding this out at the same time and goes completely red in the face and they just start fighting it out. He
mhm.
just starts beating the crap out of Malik.
Brothers being brothers,
Right?
man.
And that's the thing. I'm like, my husband has five brothers and watching my own brothers, watching my own children,
Hmm.
like I found this very comical.
Hmm.
But the
Me
best
too.
part of this was when Poppy uses her magic, uses her ether to separate them like freaking toddlers. Like she lets them
Uh-huh.
fight it out for a second and then she's like, "You go to that corner and you go
You
to
go to
that
that
corner."
corner, and
I say
everybody
that
is
every
staying
day.
there. Uh-huh. Mhm.
I'm like, that part was great. And then it got
Fantastic.
not so great because then the two pieces of shit came in, so you can take it from there.
Yes. So basically, after all of this, we have decided that bitch wants Poppy to go find Malik and bring him to her.
Right.
So then moving into chapter 36, she agrees
Hmm.
and they have, did we decide it? No, it was a
It's two
fortnight.
weeks.
It's a
2 weeks.
fortnight. So it's 2 weeks.
Fortnite, which is 2 weeks.
It's 14 days.
14.
She's like, yes, I can get him, but I need something of his. And she's like, all I
Hmm.
have is this diamond ring that was given to me by him.
Yeah, that was Malix he gave to
Yep.
her.
And so
Hmm.
she gets it back, or she gives it to her, and she's like, I better get this back, kind of.
Hmm.
And like right as kind of like all this is like kind of being settled, Callum comes up and cuts Kieran's arm, and then they
Yeah,
just like
because
see the shadowy going into it.
well, because Isbeth is like, I don't have your man anymore, basically. I don't have Cass. I have no assurance that you're gonna follow through on your end of the deal. Um, and then all of a sudden she's like, unless, and then Callum, yeah, goes
Yeah.
and so
And
that's
like
like
they
their
see
way of making
Callum
sure.
like whisper something,
Hmm.
um, and these shadows go into him or whatever.
Hmm.
And then so basically Poppy's like, okay, we'll do this, whatever. And then they kill the couple of the house that they were
Theresa and
staying into.
Blaz.
Yep.
Hmm.
And that's when she goes batshit again. And we
Yeah.
we basically have Hurricane Poppy outside. And is bitch is just loving this. She's like, yeah, show all
Mm-hmm.
the people what you are and who you are and all that. So
Yeah. Yeah. And the only other thing that I had here that I found interesting was when Isbeth demands that they go find Malik and bring him to her, um, in order that she'll let them leave if they go find Malik and bring him to her. Callum is actually surprised at that request. Like, he's obviously not been included in these plans. And we find out later that he wasn't included in those plans
mhm,
because that wasn't the original plan.
which
So,
is interesting.
yes, I found that everything around Callum, I hate his guts, but also there's, I think, a lot more mystery there
Yeah.
that we're going to uncover. Wow, I had a lot more notes here.
Mhm,
Okay, so on the topic of Callum,
mhm,
this is right here in chapter 36. In my notes, I said, okay, I'm going on record right now. I don't know what Callum is or who. He's been around for a long time. Like since when there was the gods roaming the mortal realm, Elysium,
mhm,
like sounds like he's been around as long as like Nyktos and those guys. Um, he's always described as golden and he's old and he knows primal magic and
mhm.
he was the one that taught Isbitch to create the revs, how to create the revs. Um, and then who do we know was the first one to create the revenants? It was Colas,
Colas.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know exactly what or who Callum is yet, and even still at the end of this book, I'm still unsure, but he's 100% connected to the fake Primal of Life. Um, I even think maybe like a son or something. I don't know, but he is
What would be the
somehow
fake
connected
primal
to
of
Colas.
life?
Yeah. What?
What would be the fake primal of life?
Well, Colas is the fake primal of life because Colas was originally the primal
Oh
of
yeah,
death,
that's right. He was the primal
remember?
of death. Okay,
And
yeah.
then, yeah, the whole stuff
Okay.
with Satoria, and then he became the primal of life.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
maybe he's like cousin Golden Boy.
yeah, something. But Callum is 100% because um, they say that the curse was like, I can't remember who it was that says that the curse was like, it had Colas's essence. And I think that it might even be in the
That's
next.
later. I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll leave that one alone. But anyways, I'm just throwing that out there. I
Yeah,
figured
it
chapter
reeks of
36, I was
Colas's
gonna throw that out
reeks
there.
of Colas's essence.
Essence or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, we can move on to chapter 37 now.
Okay. I love all of that. And I'm so glad you put that in there because I think I'm on the same train.
Okay.
But I'll let if we get there, I'll let you call it. But I think we're on the same train.
All right, cool.
So we have this is another Castile point of view. Like I know they've kind of been back and forth before, but um this is where this was all coming from.
hmm
So they are headed back to Patagonia. Sure.
Something like that,
And
sure.
yeah.
Pedonia.
And and they're seeing like the white banners on homes and stuff, which mean they are haven for dissenters, according to Malik,
hmm
which she thinks is interesting because those were the same ones in Macedonia that were meant that there was a curse there.
Right.
Um, and so this is when Reaver's the one that's saying that the Golden Boy's curse reeks of Colus's primal essence. So, and
Yes.
it was a primal curse. Um, but he does mention about how it might not even work since they're or if they are all joined
Yeah,
to
he's just
her, right?
assuming that they're joined already and all this stuff. So
Uh-huh.
he's like, I don't know what you're worried
And
about.
then kind of even like Malik's like, huh, you guys aren't joined? Like
hmm
I'm like, I can only imagine like if I was Poppy, I would have been blushing so damn hard. Like, no, we haven't hit third base yet.
Oh
Okay.
my
Like
gosh.
we're not there.
Oh.
Um, and then so this is where I'm gonna put in an I called it moment when we switch
hmm
over to the Poppy point of view and she's talking about her tooth aching again, like because she is
hmm
talking about her mouth hurting and her headaches and stuff like that. And I was like, I bet she's getting I
Oh,
bet she's
you're so
getting
good.
fangs. And
I
that's yeah,
didn't
that's
call
what I
that.
thought it.
I totally didn't call that. When they said it, I was like, oh, yep, that makes sense. But I just figured it was like in Shadow and the Ember when Seraphina was having like the headaches and stuff when she was going through the culling.
Yeah,
That's what I thought it was. I kept waiting
yeah.
for Reaver to be like, I have a tea for you. That
Right.
never happened. I was actually kind of disappointed that he didn't ever bring her tea. But
Right.
okay.
But
Sorry.
no, you're good. But I was like, yep, I bet she's getting fangs.
Yeah, good
Because
call.
she was like, will I ever get fangs? And like she was kind of upset that she
Mm-hmm.
might not. And she wants to switch into a Draken, which at the end, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying there's some things going on. Um, but she thinks, okay, guess we'll do the joining then. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what all I had for that chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
So chapter 38, jumping back to Castile,
Yep.
and Malik doesn't know about the creepy nursery rhyme, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
So I think this was when they have him tied to a tree for the night or
Right.
something like
Yep.
that.
They're still heading back to Patagonia or whatever.
And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, yeah, I was gonna kill her, but I couldn't do it, something like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
he's like, oh, so you're the one with this creepy nursery rhyme. And he's like, what creepy nursery rhyme?
Yeah.
And Castile says it or whatever, and he goes, that is creepy, but I didn't, I don't know where that came from.
Yep.
Um, so then I was like, so who the fuck said it? And then I was like, is it Isbeth? Is it Malik?
Right.
Or was it one of the gods? So I don't know. And I think we still don't necessarily know, but now my suspicions are that
No, we
it's
do know.
Polis.
As far as I know, we do know. I just finished this chapter like a few minutes, like an hour ago. So
Oh, really? Okay, so what do you think on it then?
it's Callum. It was Callum. Like they
Oh,
basically say it in chapter 50 that it was Callum or 49, one of those chapters.
that
That it
led
was
her away
Callum.
from
Yes, it was him. Which it also makes sense why he was so confused when Isbeth was like, well, no, we need to bring back Malik because he always thought that the plan was to kill Poppy, not Malik, because either would have
right,
worked.
right,
Yeah, they
right.
basically say it
Okay,
that that's him.
okay,
And I'm pretty sure I have
gotcha.
a
Okay,
quote for it later, so we can
okay, cool.
jump. We'll circle back. We will
We'll
circle back.
circle back. We'll get there. We'll get there here in a little bit. But yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was like when I was thinking. I'm like, okay, who was this then if it wasn't Malik?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Um, so so they get back to, let's say, Patagonia, or maybe they're, no, I think they're
Something like
meeting
that. I
in
never really
Whitebridge or
wrote it
something.
down.
I don't remember. But they
The
get
place where
somewhere,
everybody else
right?
is.
Yes. And they come up over the hill or something like that. And then so Castile takes Poppy off the horse because he's like, I don't want her getting knocked the fuck off.
Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
all the women come up, and then
Yes.
just like, especially Delano tackling her, like, that is my
I
boy, man. And I
know.
went through the emotional roller
Oh
coaster later, and we will
no.
get there.
Okay.
I did not cry, but like, I went through the
Hmm.
emotional roller coaster. I
Hmm.
did not cry at this part. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So
It wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that he's in like a dog form, would it?
maybe that might be
Like
because he's
if he was
always
a man, would it
there.
have made you feel the same way?
Maybe. I mean, if Kieran would have came up and tackled her, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
um, so then kind of like towards the end of this, Malik and Delano are like having this little moment, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
Prila, Malik's bonded woman that died, that her, bones were made into those 7 daggers, and one of them is
Mm-hmm.
Poppy's. Prila was Delano's sister, which makes something that happens later even more emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have anything
The
else?
only other thing I had was that it's not just in this chapter. Malik has said it multiple times before. But I figured I'd just throw it in there in case we hadn't said it yet. But Malik does, like back when Castiel and Malik are talking, when he's tied to the tree. Malik does mention again how he saw the consort in Poppy's eyes that night, which I don't know how Malik even knows what to look for as far as the consort goes, but he keeps saying how he saw the consort in Poppy's eyes. So that night in Lockswood when she was like what, like 4 years old, he did see
Mhm.
that night. And I
And
think that may have been the thing that like stayed his hand that made him not kill her. I could be wrong,
I
but
have a totally wild, unhinged theory here in a little bit,
okay,
and
cool.
that almost like kind of solidifies it as well.
Okay. All right.
So,
So that's it for
um,
me. Chapter
okay,
39?
chapter 39. Back to Castiel's point of view, or we're still in Castiel's point of view. Don't know. So there's just reunions with everyone, right? We're back with Emil and Nail and Netta and Tawny and Daddy Valen. Okay.
Yep.
And there is a strange reunion between Valen and Malik. And
It was very
so
tense.
it
I didn't
was
find it
tense.
strange. Tell me why you
Oh,
think
I
it was
did.
strange.
So
Okay.
Malik's like, good to see you again, father, or something like
You
that.
look
And
well.
yes, and then Valen says something like, and it even says like very generally or something like that, like
hmm
stoic and like a general would say
Yeah.
to a
Okay.
soldier or something, right? And so this was when I was going back through my notes to put them in, that I was like, this even more is convincing for my theory that we will get to shortly. So this is
Okay.
another one that I was just talking about. Okay. Um, so we get into this like whole talk with the generals, right? And we're kind of going down with the plan. And Valen's basically like, yep, this is what we lied about. That kind of thing. And I was right. I know where Malik was entombed.
You
So
were right
unless,
about that.
yeah.
hmm
Yeah, so he's in the blood forest. But even more than that, they were saying about how um Valen saying, I can look it up, but he was saying about how there's like a old ruins, rocky ruins or something like that is what Alonia
hmm
had said.
hmm
And in the blood forest, when they're going through the blood forest in book one, before they get to
hmm
New Haven, and there is those symbols in the ground, right?
Yeah, and they brush it off as being the Blood Bones clan or
Uh-huh.
whatever, like the
But
Dead
there's like
Bones
a
clan.
bunch of rocks around there.
Yes.
And she has a weird, eerie feeling right before all the brats and all that come.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. That's what it essentially is. And that's, I think, exactly where it is. And I don't know if it actually matters that they were like right at the edge of it or not, but they had to have been right at the edge.
It's just kind of cool to make those connections though. Like,
Uh-huh. But the thing is like I picked that up from like what, chapter 10 or something
yeah,
like
you
that when
really
Rylan
did. You
dies.
really did. You're like, there is something about these symbols.
There's something about these
Mm-hmm.
symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, they can keep things in or
Or
out.
out. Uh-huh.
So the symbols were keeping Malik in, I think, in that area, that blood forest area,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
sounds like might have been um what maybe Willa Collins was doing with Alonia, because that's what I'm getting to next. Is Miss
Okay.
Willa helped
Go for it.
Alonia entomb
Uh-huh.
Malik. I'm getting so excited right now that I'm smacking things.
Well, your notes are in all caps, so it's
I
okay.
have a lot of caps in my
Yes, I
notes
noticed.
tonight. But yeah, and then those two used someone's unknown essence, and I'm saying Willa is a goddess,
You think
or
so?
or
Okay.
Willa is the Clips of Sorrow chick.
Oh.
And when I was reading this, I was sitting in my bed and I was kicking my feet up and down. And I was bouncing around. And my husband's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not, but I'm excited." And he's just like, "Okay, cool. Can we go back to bed now?" I'm like, no, not right now.
Oh,
So
okay, I
that
like
is
that
my thought,
thought
that
though.
she's
Yeah, I
either some
do
kind of
like
goddess, which
that.
I have said before,
hmm
or my new thought is she is the Cliffs of Sorrow chick, and her
Sotoria.
journal, yeah, and her journal of like all her things are things that she has done in these different lives.
Ooh.
And maybe she's like a victor or something kind of too.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So chapter 40 um is a Poppy and Castile point of view, but it
Yep.
starts with a Poppy Castile point of view. I have no idea what Poppy's conversation was. All I remember is that P plus C plus K equals the best thruple ever.
Yes, I kind of agree.
Yes.
I do agree.
I do agree to that.
Yes.
And then we jump over to Castile's point of view, and he's having this bad dream, and he wakes up, and it turns into a wet dream. I don't know. Can we call it
Yeah.
that? Sure.
Well, I mean, he's not asleep anymore, but yeah, sure.
Sure. You get my point here.
That's
There's a
basically
lot
the
of that in the
chapter.
chapter section.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
my note was literally like, good chapter, they fuck the end. So,
Uh-huh. Chapter 41 before we all start
41.
blushing. So we are headed out to go find Malik, right? Today's the day.
Hmm.
We're headed out. We've been traveling for I think a couple days at this point, and we're
I think
in the Blood
it like took them
Forest.
like 3 days or something to
Yeah,
get where they're
we're
going. Hmm.
in the Blood Forest, and they are in the middle of this battle, right? Battling Craven. Okay. And
Yes.
it's the team. There's like some Wolven with them. There's and of course they're bringing Malik with them everywhere, and they have this like little cart that they're bringing so that they can obviously whenever they
And
find
he is
Malik bring him
not
back,
allowed to
right?
have a weapon.
He's not allowed to have a weapon. He has to sit next to or stand next to the crate, and then he has a bunch of people circled around him. And just the amazing banter with this is, or just all of the characters in general, is
Yes.
freaking hilarious.
It's awesome.
And then so we see like Nico's coming over because there's just more and more Craven coming, right? So he comes in and he just like fires the shit out of them,
Oh,
right?
Reaver. You mean Reaver?
Yeah,
I was like,
Reaver,
Nikos. Hold
Reaver.
on. Where did Nikos
Yep.
come from? Yes,
Whoops.
Reaver.
I'm so
You're
flustered at this
good.
point.
You're
So I'm so excited. It's not even funny. And then I think it's Castile says something like it's naked Reaver time, and they go find him because he shifts so that he can tell him. I absolutely died at that fucking point.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, this is the greatest shit ever. Um, and so he says that he's found some ruins while flying ahead and is about a day's ride out or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they go to these ruins and they're like, this is it, this is the spot, this is where the trees are the thickest, all that kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
she does her little magic hocus pocus shit, and we get some glittery firebugs or whatever, and so we decide we're going to follow the yellow brick road, or in this case the glittery road.
Hmm.
um and then so they're kind of walking along, and she is talking with Malik for just a second, and he says that Cora was forced to drink the Draken blood,
Yeah.
and that is what killed her. And then so in the thickest part of the forest we find a rock mountain, is what I called it, with a tunnel.
Hmm.
And
Basically.
out comes Grims.
Germs.
They're the Germs, whatever. I like Grims better. It just makes more sense in my freaking head. So, uh, yeah, and that's what I have because that's kind of how it ends.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else?
Well, the only other thing I thought I would just throw in there was when she starts doing her spell, the location spell. So she calls on the goddess Bel, the great huntress and finder of all things needed.
Oh yeah,
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Belle is the one that we met in the Shadow and the Ember. I'm pretty sure we met
yes,
her. She's one of the
yes,
ones that kind of is like befriends Seraphina and whatnot. And I think
yep.
she's the one that almost died in the very end, but ends up not. That
Uh,
got stabbed.
yes,
Um,
yes.
yeah, I think that was Belle.
Okay.
So that just stood out to me, especially because our next book is going to be the another bonus episode of the Flesh
Yeah,
and Fire series.
lighten the ember.
Yeah.
No,
So
lighten
I
up.
figured
I don't know.
yeah, I thought I might be would throw that in there because I feel like it might end up being important later. Okay. So chapter 42. So we're fighting the Germs now.
Mhm.
Um and just because we were talking about it in the bonus episode last time, I'm going to throw it in there because they cleared some stuff up for us. We were talking about the Germs when we read The Shadow and the Ember. There's different kinds. We couldn't remember what kinds there were, where they came from, and whatnot. So I think it's Reaver kind of gives us a little history about that again. So there's the sentries, and there's the hunters, and then there's the kind that the unseen create. So the hunters are the kind that hunt things and peoples. Sentries are the kind that guards things or some like someone or something. The kind that they're fighting now are sentries. So they're obviously guarding Malik, because he's entombed there. So the ones that they're fighting now used to be mortal. They're the kinds that once were mortal but pledged themselves to a god upon death to like basically repay a debt or get a second chance. I remember Poppy being like, "Oh, that's kind of weird. These used to be people." kind of like the
Yeah, and
Craven
weren't the
in a way.
priests and priestesses or something like that? Didn't
Uh-huh.
they have their faces all?
Yeah, so they would have been
Wait a
also
minute.
been sentries
Yeah, so hold on.
in Shadow
So
in the Ember.
was it in Shadow in the Ember?
Yeah, because
Or was
those,
it Poppy
well,
remembers that when she was a child that the one of them remembers that as a child, the priests and priestesses that guarded her had their face all stitched up like that.
that was Seraphina in Shadow in the Ember.
So then which god or goddess sent those to protect her?
I don't think they were protecting her. They were protecting the temple.
Maybe. I'm just saying.
But she went up to see them when she was trying to get the, like Niktos to come to her
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But she remembers how creepy they were.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Okay.
those are sentries. These are also sentries. So then we get a little more information about the sentries. Um, so obviously sentries are guards. The sentries cannot be summoned by primal magic. They can only be sent by a primal. I had to read that like 3 times to understand it. Um, but so Poppy's trying to understand how and why. Because she's like, so Alona couldn't have been the one to place or summon the sentries. So Alona would have entombed him. There would have been no Germs. Then basically they would have had to have been sent by a primal. So Niktos and the consort would have felt that Malik was being entombed and whatnot, and
Mm-hmm.
would have had to have they had to have been the ones that sent them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, but that's basically the history that I have on that little piece there. But Poppy does ask the question when she's thinking about all of this, like, okay, so they sent sentries. So his parents basically they sent guards to keep him safe, but they didn't save him. They didn't wake him up. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't save him. They didn't like release him. Like they obviously had the power they could have, but they chose not to. They kept him entombed. Why? So she
Right.
does
Why?
ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is the one space where we hear that like Reaver and Malik were friends when they were younger because Poppy notices that Reaver's acting a little funny, a little more emotional than is normal for him.
Uh-huh.
And she asks him about it, and yeah, they were friends when they were younger until Malik started to visit the mortal realms more. And then that kind of like drove a rift in their friendship.
Yeah.
So, also when Malik left, Reaver's helping or telling him about this as well. When Malik left Elysium right before everyone went to sleep, all the gods went to sleep, I guess he didn't leave on very good terms, is what
Yep.
Reaver says. Yeah.
And then I think it's Delano is talking about how the Grims aren't attacking Poppy, and this is after like Reaver's
Yes.
like
They're like trying to grab her, but they're not trying to kill her.
yeah, and they have poison inside of them, so that all the Wolven have to back off, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're filled with these snakes or whatever.
Yeah, they're basically dead but not dead. They have no
Uh,
internal organs or anything, so they're filled with snakes.
hmm and then so kind of still in this, I'm just like because we're talking about the snakes,
Mm-hmm.
Delano and Poppy up on the rock to get away from the snakes was also hilarious. Like Delano's like, fuck this. Fuck
Seriously,
snakes.
it's such like Indiana Jones vibes. Like, why does it have
Uh-huh.
to be snakes? I'm pretty sure that exact line is in the book, is in
Oh,
this
really?
chapter. Why
Why
does
does
it
it
have
have
to
to be
be snakes? I
snakes?
think
I
it
think
comes from
it's
Poppy.
meta. Oh, I
Is it
thought it was
Netta?
meta. Yeah.
One way or another, it
And she's
made me
like, there's
laugh so
more
hard.
snakes or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep. And then yeah, so but they're not attacking Poppy, which I thought was interesting too.
Right.
So then I think this is kind of like after we've taken care of everything, and Reaver's like, I've got 3 rules, and he holds up fingers. And number 1, he needs his rest, otherwise he's cranky. 2, were centuries, not the Grims, and that's kind of when he goes into all the stuff that you were just talking about.
Yep.
And 3, and Castile goes, can can you stop, and can you please stop giving Kieran the middle finger? And he says, I was actually giving it to everyone, but whatever.
I love Reaver.
I do too. He's like one of my freaking favoriteest characters. He's like the teenage babysitter. It's like what it
Basically.
makes me think of.
But he's old.
Uh-huh.
But he's
Yep, yep, yep.
not.
But he's not, according
Relatively
to
speaking.
Nectus. Yeah.
Nectus, yeah.
So this is kind of a little bit later. I think that they're moving along with the casket, right?
Yeah, they got
And
the casket.
Castile and Malik are, yeah, maybe it's no, Castile like looks over at Malik while he's talking to Reaver.
Hmm.
And Reaver also kind of like sees that look over. And so Reaver does bring up that it's strange that Malik is named so close. Malik is named so closely to
Hmm.
Malek. Brother is close to um
Stepdad.
stepdad, uncle.
So it would be stepdad. It'd be mom's first husband,
So that
but
wouldn't
not
even be a
father.
stepdad. Okay, ex, not daddy. I don't know, but anyway, this family tree is so fucking complicated. They
It's
are
their
from South
mom's
Alabama, I'm
ex-husband.
telling you. Anyway,
Mom's ex-husband.
yeah. So Castile just kind of pushes it off as like because his mother loved Malik so much,
Hmm.
and so kind of the chapter continues, and at some point they're talking about how she's saying her mouth hurts again or something like that,
Hmm.
and then she's like, you're probably getting, or somebody says you're probably getting fangs, and she's
Oh
like, I'm
yeah, it was
getting
like Cass
fangs,
or
and I was like,
Kieran.
haha, I knew it.
Yeah, I had that note too. Like finally they put two and two together. Like she's
Uh-huh.
getting fangs. I also put two and
Uh-huh.
two together at this point because I had not called that. So I
See, I was like, yeah, called it.
was like, oh, that makes
So
sense.
last kind of note here. So I had, after this like chapter ended, I put the book down and I like walked away. I was doing some other things, whatever. I think this was like yesterday afternoon, doing some other things. I am like doing dishes and I stop. I put the dishes down and I just know I'm staring out the window and I'm thinking this, right? So I wrote it down real quick, right? Okay, and this may not make any sense, but this is a thought that came to mind. And now I'm so more like, this is what I think, right? Especially after Reaver brings up that it's strange about Malik's names, right? Or the
Okay.
Malik names, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
And because Reaver is always really good about like, hey, doesn't anybody else think this is weird? What do you mean you guys don't know this kind of
Yeah.
shit? Right. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And a couple of the other things that happened, like the situation with Daddy, right? When
Mm-hmm.
they Valen has not seen Malik in what, a couple hundred years or something like that.
Something like that. It's been a
Right.
long time.
And it's a very weird thing. Castile has been gone for, let's just say,
He
40
was gone for
days.
50. Oh, yeah, yeah,
50.
yeah.
Okay,
40
yeah. So
days.
like
40,
50,
40
50.
days, something like
I mean,
that. Hmm.
travel time. Okay, so okay,
Sure,
like two
sure.
months. Okay.
Okay.
And it's still, even like, even though Castile's pissed, it's still like an emotional, like huggy type of reunion, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a strange thing. And then I had one earlier that I just thought of. But so this is the thought, right? And I go, hold the fuck up. Stop, drop. We have things to talk about. Random thought. What if Malik with a K is actually the son of Malek with a C and Izbich?
Oh.
What if Malik is the older son and Alonia entombed Malik and took Malik as her own because she didn't want to kill a
What?
baby?
What is it with you and the stolen babies? But that makes sense.
I but somehow Izbich doesn't know this is her child,
Oh, weird.
or does. I don't know. Okay, but think about it this way. So we're talking third sons and daughters are the ones that have this essence, right?
Hmm.
Okay. What is it, like the essence of
Well, the
life?
third
I can't,
sons and well,
hold on.
okay, 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 okay,
So
okay.
the third sons and daughters were supposed to go to serve the gods, right?
Right.
And some of them had this essence, right? The essence of, I think, life. And that was in those third sons and daughters. And some of them, it was like well, they all have it. They all have it. But some of them were not dormant, and those ones were able to be made into the revenants.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have, so just fly with me here. We
Okay.
have Malik is the first brother. Nothing happens to it. Millie is the second daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So she would be the chosen, the one that would be ascended.
Mm-hmm.
We
But
have
it failed.
Poppy, the third, that somehow has the primal of life. I don't know, but like I had a thought here, but that would make Poppy a third. Okay. Now you're going to be like, but they're heartmates, Millie and Malik. That would be gross. That would be weird.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, now
Hold
that you say
on.
that, yep. Okay.
Malik is the only one that says they're heartmates and stuff like that. Because they were talking about how it's
Yeah, he
strange
keeps
that
talking about
that
how she like
Millie
basically hates him.
essentially hates him.
Maybe not hates him, but she isn't clued in on the heartmates
There's
thing yet.
not the same, there's not the same, what's coming is not going, okay?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm.
I don't know.
You thought way harder about
I
the name
did.
thing than I did because I was just like,
I
oh yeah, she
but
loves
it
Malik,
was just
so
a it's just okay. It's just a weird thing.
that's okay.
Just a weird
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, there's a lot of weird things going on with this family tree, so
Mm-hmm.
who knows? You could totally be right.
Because we still have a missing freaking brother. I'm just saying, like, I don't believe he's dead.
Right, no, I don't either.
Because
I think that
Isbeth is
Isbeth and
convinced he's
Malik's
dead.
son
Because
is, yeah,
mind you, this because the son left with him as soon as like when he was just a baby, from what I remember.
yeah, he was pretty young because that's when
Yeah.
the War of Two Kings started. Malik sends Isbeth away and says it's too dangerous for you. Can't even take the kid.
Mm-hmm.
She goes in hiding, finally decides she's done hiding, comes out looking for them.
And
Supposedly,
Alonia,
son is
or
dead,
supposedly Alonia
and
killed the
Malik
baby
has
because that's
moved
why she
on.
keeps
Right.
saying you're a baby killer.
Alona killed the
I don't know if she
baby.
says that,
Yeah,
but
something like that. And then
yeah.
moved on and
And
she's
then
like with
entombed
Malik.
Malik or whatever.
No, she's
Mm-hmm.
like married
Oh yeah, and
Malik
then
at
married
this
Malik.
point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm just saying it would make sense. And Valen knows.
Right, and then like the yeah, so I can see what you're saying with like the reunion between Malik and
But
Valen.
think about it. Like, I think Valen's a good dude.
I do
And
too.
so he would
I
be
think he's gotten
like,
the short end of the stick a
yes.
little bit,
So he would
honestly.
know that that is another baby, but it was just a child. And he wanted to help her raise him
Yep. Yep.
instead of doing the
Because
other
he's a
bad thing.
good guy. Yep. So he's like,
Uh-huh.
yep, I'll be his dad and we'll just carry on with life.
So
And
that
that
is
would
my
totally make
unhinged
sense.
theory that honestly makes sense.
I would say I'm about 80% on board with that.
Okay. Then let's move on to the next couple of chapters because
Yeah,
they're
they'll
going to
be
be
pretty
kind of
fast.
short for our discussion.
Basically 43. They're
Uh-huh.
preparing to do the joining because she's like, Poppy's like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, it may not stop the curse, but what the heck?
Yeah.
Let's
So
give it a
it's
shot.
bath time, essentially.
Mhm.
Um, and then chapter 44.
44.
Okay.
They
They've
do the
joined.
joining.
Got it.
That was the whole chapter.
Okay. So chapter 45, back from a giggle session that you guys will never hear from me and Jess. We are ready to keep moving. Chapter 45.
Rolling on here.
Uh, Malik is also in the stables because he like chases Poppy out when she goes to the stables to
Because
go
that's
check
where
out the
they're holding
casket.
the
Yeah.
casket that Malik is in.
And Malik, this is so
Right.
hard.
The son, not
Yes. Okay.
Malek, the god.
Brother Malik,
Brother Malik.
has seen her out the window or whatever. And so he decides to go see what she's doing or whatever.
Mhm.
And this was like another thought I had that Malik doesn't want Alec dead because he knows what's happening, but
Yeah.
also because maybe he remembers him as his dad if that's who his dad is. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe, yeah, no, that's another little piece to your theory for sure. I didn't think
Yeah.
about that, but yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
And
Yep.
then like,
And she's asking Malik about Millie. And I found this kind of sort of weird, but Malik says we talked about this a little bit already, but Malik says that Millie doesn't know that they're heartmates. Malik knows that they're heartmates. He can just feel it. But he says how Millie is kind of like cold to him and not quite there, but then sometimes she is. She's like, "Well, then how do you know your heartmates?" He goes, "I just know."
uh-huh.
I was like, "Okay, that's weird." And then I think about our other books that like our last series that we read about, and I'm trying not to connect the two,
Right. I'm
but like how
kidding.
one can feel that, but the other doesn't yet. So I don't know if that's
Mhm.
what it is. I don't know. Um, but then they're continuing talking, and then the woven dagger comes up, and because Poppy's like, I just want to say I'm sorry about Preela. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And Malik says, you know nothing. Basically, like, I was broken, and this is what broke me,
Hmm.
was how King Jalara, killed Preela, and it wasn't fast, it was brutal, it was awful, and he turned her bones into the woven daggers, 7 woven daggers. 6 of them were recovered, the 7th one never was, and Malik knows that that's the one that Poppy has, and he clues her into that,
Hmm.
and then she realizes that so Malik tells her that that 7th dagger, the one that Poppy has, was originally gifted by the Blood Queen to Coralina, who then gave it to Leo. And we know that Leo was also a victor.
Hmm.
So this is where I'm like, I think that you are onto something
Uh-huh.
in the last episode
That
where you were
Leo and Victor
like
are the same
that they're the same
person.
person. Yeah, because then like it's the same dagger that then Poppy was gifted by Victor. So Leo
Hmm.
was gifted it by Cora, and then Victor gifted it to Poppy.
Hmm.
Kind of weird. So are they the same? Did Leo come back as Victor?
Hmm.
Because
He
yeah, I
did.
think I think 100%. I think you are totally right on that. Yeah.
Chapter 46.
46.
Um, okay. So this is Castiel, and he's going to go talk with Dad. And he has decided that Daddy is to stay behind
Yep.
because we love Daddy Valen. And what did they? Oh, I didn't write it down, but um, you protect the ones you love or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah,
And I was like,
you can't protect everyone, but you can protect the ones you love.
uh-huh. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, because his daddy taught him that.
Right.
And I thought it
Right.
was so sweet. And so I said, haha, Jess, he doesn't die
Right. Well,
because
you were
he's
the one
not.
who said he was gonna die.
No, you said he was gonna die before he got to meet his two sons in battle.
Oh, you might be right. Okay. Okay.
So
He met the sons. He doesn't
he's
die.
met the
You're right.
sons
Okay.
and he's not going to battle. So he's not gonna die. And he better never die because I love Daddy Valen and he's not evil and I'm
He's not evil.
manifesting it.
He's just a good guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because especially if I'm right and he raised this other dude's son. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy. All
Uh-huh.
around.
Mhm. Okay.
So they're okay. So all right. So they're off now. Their next day they're off to go deliver Malik, Father Malik, God Malik, in his casket to Isbitch and
Hmm.
end the war. They've got a whole army with them. They're like, this is the day. We're gonna bring Malik. The war is gonna be over. This is it. And then she's asleep between her two dudes.
Hmm.
Like,
Well, she doesn't know it at first, but yeah.
yeah, she didn't realize it at first, but she fell asleep with Cass, and then all of a sudden she realizes there's
Kieran got
also
cold.
warmth at her back, and so we got a poppy sandwich going again. We
Hmm.
like our poppy sandwiches.
We do.
Um, so during this, she has this dream. Did you want to? It looks like you've got like the actual full dream. Did you want to read that?
Okay. So it says, I fell asleep wrapped in his arms and woke in the middle of the night, disoriented from the dream I had had. I only remembered bits and pieces of it. The back of a woman wearing a crown of black diamonds on her silvery hair, sitting on a throne much like the one I'd seen at the Temple of Nikos. She had been weeping. There was also a man with sandy blonde hair standing to her left. Something about him was so familiar. He had begun to turn and spoke just a word, but I woke before I could see his face. Still, the sadness of the dream gathered like tart ale in my throat. The woman, it had been the consort. I knew it. And the man, he had felt like Victor.
Yeah.
But even if he were a Victor, why would I have seen him with the consort?
So is this Holland? Because he was Seraphina's
See, I thought
Victor.
Holland had like dark hair, dark skin.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Or is it Victor? Or my other thought though was, is it Golden Boy? Because
I
remember,
had the
Consort's
same
crying.
thought. Is it Callum? I had the same thought.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't seem like a Victor. But they have also said multiple times that Victors also could be sent to guard evil people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So here we go. This is where things start getting fucking wild. So let's go. Chapter 47. Let's go. Okay. So essentially we make it to the temple. We're in the temple now, right? Okay. And I just would like to mention about how they say about these statues are all faceless statues of gods. But before, there was only one statue that everybody thought was Nikos, but it's not
Right.
Nikos. It's got to be Colis
Right.
with the faceless, but they're all in there and they're faceless. So that's
And
interesting.
why did she choose this temple as a place for them to meet?
Millie's like starting to talk with Poppy.
Malik and Poppy, yeah, like Isbeth is distracted, so she comes over
Yeah,
and she's
she's
like
distracted.
nonchalantly trying to talk to them.
And she's basically like, I know you're my sister, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And then just kind of like out of nowhere. Oh, wait, no, wait. This is Golden Boy lifts the curse first, right?
Right. But he basically says, "Oh, I didn't need to do that. He would have been fine." Basically.
Yeah, because he notices that it's gone. But that's the thing though, is there's still shadows that come up out of Kieran.
Yes, true.
So I think it was like he was like, oh, you did the joining or something like that. Because I think he's gonna use that later.
Okay.
Like
You're
as
probably right.
knowledge. Because Callum's obviously coming back. Because I think he could be Colis, but I don't know what the fuck's going on here. And then kind of like all this is happening. And then Isbeth pulls from her little bloodstone belt a shadowstone dagger and stabs Malik in the heart.
Yes.
And I was
not see that coming because it was like, what is going on?
right.
So it makes a little more sense to me now, but you can help me unravel the pieces as I read this. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, Isbeth stabs Malik in the heart, and then Millie is like, I don't understand what is going on here. And Poppy is feeling the same way. Everyone's feeling the same way. Like, what the hell is going on? And they're asking Callum, so he comes back to life. So this is Callum. Well, first it's Millie. She goes, I don't understand, Millicent said, her wide-eyed gaze darting between Callum and her mother. Callum, what is it that you don't understand? Everything, she seethed. Everything about what just happened. You mean what could have happened to you if you hadn't been a failure? Callum countered, and Malik shot forward, blocked only by Castile, who was simply faster. You would have bled for him, and he would have rewarded you greatly for it. I was like, what the? Okay, that didn't make sense to me, but I'll continue reading. Millicent drew back, her skin paling under her mask. Her stare hit mine, and suddenly I understood. Mouth dry, my gaze fell to Malik. Malik, as in the god in the tomb, or in the casket. That was supposed to be me, wasn't it? You succeeded where she didn't, Callum said, and I've been waiting a long time for you. He's been waiting for the sacrifice. The balance the Ere always insist upon. Waiting for the one born of mortal flesh on the verge of becoming a great primal power. You arrived as promised, but he extended his arm. But you weren't the only one. As long as both shared the blood of the primal of life and were loved, it would restore him. She just needed you, someone of his bloodline, to find Malik. We all know that Iris surely wouldn't have done that. We'd have had to free him, and well, he's kind of pissy to say the least. What in the hell? Demanded Nail. Callum cocked his head. I just didn't think she'd do that, not until she asked for him, and even then, I truly didn't think she would go through with it, to be honest. He laughed. I thought it would be a 50-50 shot on who she chose, you or Malik.
Mm-hmm.
I was so freaking confused when I read that. I was like, what is going on?
My thought is, are Malik and Iris primal somehow?
They're not, though. We learned that they're not. It has to be the female bloodline that's primal. They're just gods.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, then a couple pages later. So, quote, he's been waiting. Callum ignored Kieran, his chin dipped, eyes eager, voice full of soft worship, so much very like the priests and priestesses in Oak Ambler. This whole time he too has slept fitfully, kept well fed under the temple of Theon.
Mm-hmm.
Kieran's skin blanched as a shudder rocked me. The children, I gasped. The extra right. He had to
Mm-hmm.
be strong enough to awaken, and he was. Callum dragged his teeth along his lower lip. When you shed the mortal flesh and began your ascension, it freed him. And soon, when Malik takes his final breath, he will be at his full strength. All these years, all these centuries and centuries, he's been waiting, sleeping even more restlessly after your birth, sensing you, feeling you. He's been waiting and waiting for the proverbial key to his lock, for his pretty Poppy to pick and watch bleed. Okay, obviously we like you keep reading, so I was super confused, and then I keep reading and I'm like, okay, so Colas, it's Colas. Colas is
Coolest
the
is
big
the true
bad.
king.
He's the
He
true
was
king.
under the temple. They
And I
were
will
feeding
just
him.
say I
He's
thought it was
been awake since
Malik.
she ascended because
Right.
Castile ascended her, and it was successful.
Right.
And that's when she started the culling and everything like that.
Right. So, quick little note, I will just say that I did call, I thought it was Malik, but apparently it was Colas, that they were
Mm-hmm.
feeding something. I thought it was Malik that they were trying to
Mm-hmm.
bring back as the true king. They were had to feed him to get him healthy and strong again. With the whole like the kids and the rite and all that stuff under the temple, the cavern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's Colas. I was like, I still don't understand this. So maybe you can clear this up for me because like I said, I read this quickly tonight. I don't understand. What is going on? So okay, Malik has to die instead of Poppy. If Poppy would have died, then it would have been Colas would have been brought back, but it's okay if Malik dies, he'll still be brought back. I'm so confused.
So my thought is, okay, so you know how I've been saying that something put all the gods to sleep.
Mhm.
There's no way they just decided to go to sleep.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty sure something happened where, because remember how they're saying about how Nikos and the consort went to great lengths to
Right. So it makes
prevent
more
this
sense
from
when I
happening or
got to
something.
the end. Yeah.
I think they put to sleep all the gods somehow, and different things that Poppy's doing, like different parts of the fates or whatever, is what's waking them up, or different things happening.
Mhm.
And that is what was like waking them up or something. And Colas was awoken or pulled out for when she ascended. Like that's what woke her up, because then
Mhm.
that is kind of how the prophecy was going or whatever, because she's the bringer of death and destruction.
Mhm.
So whatever death she brought, the death that would be Malik,
Right.
and with that brought the destruction of
Right.
Colas, because he's the one that wants to basically level the earth, because he wants to be big bad, because he's mad at everybody.
Mhm.
um I forgot where I was going with that, but um I don't know. I changed my mind. I don't know. So chapter 48, we have the Decai, which is what I'm gonna call them,
Yeah.
which are the true King's Guard. So they're coming up out of the out of the crooks and crevices and all the stuff is starting to break, and
That was crazy.
it's massive battle scene. And again, fabulous, fabulous writing from
Yes,
Jennifer. Loved it. She
totally.
needs full blown all the awards you can get for it. Um, and then so Poppy's like seeing all her friends start dying around her, whatever. And so she takes her bloodstone dagger, okay, that it was Preela's bones,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes to go flick it at Isbeth, but Isbeth like makes
Mm-hmm.
it turn around, and Delano comes up and tries to save her and like knocks her over because that's what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Knocks her over so she's out of the way of these whatever and stuff like that. And she looks over and he has her woven dagger to the chest and
Yep.
it kills him. And
Yeah.
I was like, that is so sad that that's what killed him because those
I
are so
know.
bones. And I almost like, I thought about it. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so sad. But I couldn't like put the book down because it doesn't even like stop for a second. Like you keep going
No.
because this is when she's pissed now and like
Mm-hmm.
things go the fuck down, right?
Yep.
And so kind of like we have like a, you know how like in some movies and stuff like that, like you have just like a pause scene where everything pauses around you
Yep.
and then like something happens. So this is what I kind of imagine happened.
Me too.
And so like the consort comes to Poppy and then she just kind of is like remembering all the times that she's seen her or whatever. And then like
Yeah.
think about like back when she was in the Temple of Nikos, when she first gets to Atlantia and um there's like the blood tears rains whatever.
The blood rain and the
Mhm.
tree. That's the
And
first
the
time that a
tree.
tree grows around her.
It's not, it's the second time. Um
Oh, you're right. It is the second time.
yeah.
But yeah.
But and she sees that vision of who we assume is the consort and she goes, I'm done with this, and then slams the ground and like
Uh-huh.
screams. And then so then she knows what to do, and she because like her Tawny's like, yeah, Victor said you would know her name or you
Right.
already know her name or something like that. And then she goes, I think back to this the memory or whatever. So like that's got to be the memory that she said that she couldn't quite catch or whatever,
Yep.
is that's what she said is her name.
Exactly.
And so she pounds her hands into the ground and screams Serafina. It just says screams the consort's name.
The
But
yeah, which we know.
and then so moving into chapter 49, I am like, let's fucking go, right?
Yep.
Because then she is shadow and she looks in her shadow and she sees fucking wings.
Yep.
Fucking wings. But like while she's still on the ground, she sees that like two teeth pop out, right?
Yep.
And I was like, there's her fucking fangs. And like
She
that
got her
means she
fangs and she shifted at the same time, the two
hold
things she
on, but
wanted.
that means well, she didn't
Yep.
shift into a Draken. It doesn't say
Well, not
shift.
necessarily, but yeah.
But because she has her fangs now, she has completed the culling.
Yes.
And so shadow wings, right? And then like the air around them rips apart and out comes the biggest fucking Draken. It's Nictus,
Yeah.
Daddy Nictus, here to
Well,
save the
Nectus.
day. Whatever.
Not
I try
Nictus.
so hard. Okay.
You're good.
I'm trying so hard right now. Nictus, okay, comes the fuck out of this shit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it is Serafina is like within her and speaking through her and is basically like bitch, you fucked up, and is like
Yep.
breaking Isbis bones and is like saying how Nikos will be waiting for you in the abyss and bye, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, your suffering has only
Goodbye.
just begun. Just you wait.
Goodbye. 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 Oh, but so like while Poppy has like the shadow wings and all the stuff, like before Nectus comes in with like takes out the whole rise or whatever with his fire and stuff. So she has this mist that's like following her, right? Poppy. And it's going over all the ones she loves and protecting them because now we have blood rain and like all this other stuff going on. But the mist is like covering all our friends, okay? And keeping everybody safe in theory, or shielding them, whatever, even the dead bodies. Okay. and they're all gone, right? And then do you have anything else before I continue my excited little
Well,
shit?
okay. So I'm gonna back up just a second here.
Yes, no, you're good. That's why I want to make
Um,
sure.
no, you're good. Okay. So I just want to throw in here because we haven't said it yet. This is where she makes the connection that Seraphina actually is in the last chapter, right at the end, when she screams Seraphina's name. She says, I am screaming the name of the true primal of life.
Uh-huh.
And then she screams Seraphina's name. Okay, so then we move into chapter 49. So then a stream, this is from the book, a stream of intense silvery fire erupted, spinning into a funnel that slammed into the creatures climbing the rise. Nectis, Castiel rasped. My entire being focused on Isbeth. She stood behind the altar, almost transfixed, and the endless fury I felt from her joined mine, her being the consort,
Hmm.
Seraphina. Her, Seraphina, the true primal of life. The one I'd gotten the gift of life and healing from. Not Niktos. His gift was the shadows in my skin, the death in my touch, and the coldness in my chest. And then blood rain and all that, everything you were just talking about. So the blood rain stopped, and not a single drop touched me as I turned my attention back to Isbeth. You. The one word dripped so much power, so much barely leashed violence that a cold shiver even ran down my spine. Because that was me, and it was also Seraphina. Her essence,
Hmm.
her consciousness moved inside me. So,
Hmm.
to throw those two things in
No,
there.
you're good. You're good. Good. So, chapter 50, the
Yep.
last chapter. And she wakes up from blacking out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Castile's there and Kieran's there, and they're all like, yeah, we did it or whatever. And then she like looks over and like Nail's fine. He like sitting up, but he's like breathing and stuff. And she's
Yes.
like, Emil's here. He
And
was there.
Hisa,
Uh-huh.
because
And
she
then
died.
all of a sudden, and no, I think he said some, or maybe this happens first, but it's a cold nose
Ayo.
touches her, and I freaked the fuck out. And I will let you know that I screamed that it's Delano.
Yes.
And I will tell you that I will add one to the cry counter, like an actual
Oh,
full number one,
oh
like
my goodness.
happy tears because Delano's alive.
I know.
I was so happy and so excited. I was like, yes, we don't have to continue without Delano because I
Yes.
can't do it. So I was so excited. But yeah, everybody's back. So supposedly, like it happened when as soon as she passed out, like that's what happened. Like all
I
the
actually
mists.
have the quote
Go
about it.
ahead.
Okay, so she goes, how did I bring everyone back? It had been my will, I remembered. I'd let my will sweep out from me as the mist cradled their bodies, but I wasn't the primal of life. It wasn't just you who brought them back. So this is Nectis talking. It
Mhm.
wasn't just you who brought them back. You're not that powerful yet. You had help, Nectis said. And my gaze shot back to him. The primal of life aided you, and Niktos captured their souls before they could enter the veil or the abyss and then released them. Probably could do without the guards and all of them coming back, Kieran muttered.
Mhm.
Um, so then,
But he says that they must because of the balance or something like that.
right. So, yeah. And I didn't actually like highlight that part, but basically, yeah, he's like, there's a balance, the array, the fates, they
Mhm.
require a balance. Um, they explained to her that, oh, okay, here we go. So the Draken eyed him. Balance. There must always be balance, he said, especially when the primal of life granted such an act as this. Seraphina, the consort, she's the true primal of life.
Mhm.
So
And then they were
then,
saying about how like the little orbs
right. So
of
then they
light
go
they
into
could see
that.
going to them
Hmm. And then she remembers
to speak
how
her name
to
is
speak
to
her name
bring the stars
exactly
from the
from the sky.
skies.
Yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
loved that.
I know, me too. That part was cool.
Yep. Um, but yeah, so we're kind of like this is kind of when we're having like a big talk with Neektis, right? And she wonders about Jadis. And
Hmm.
he says that Jadis is still alive, that he can feel her in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
and that Reaver couldn't because he's a young one that they used to call him like Reaver Butt or something
Reaver
like that.
butt.
Reaver Butt, which I love. Hilarious. Which means he was probably a little terror, and I love that. Um, but yeah, so we know Jadis is alive. We know that, which is cool. And I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
you, I think I know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so so Neektis goes on to tell the gang basically a story called A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer Armentrout,
Right,
book
exactly.
one
He
in the
like
Flesh and Fire
summarizes
series.
it.
He summarizes kind of all of this, right? And then we say about how Colas has already been awakened. It doesn't matter that Malik still lives because Reaver has taken him back to Elysium.
Right.
And it doesn't matter that Colas still lives or that Malik still lives. Colas has been awoken. He was already awoken.
Because they were kept saying like you need to stop this, you need to stop this. And they thought maybe if we take the Shadowstone dagger out of Malik's heart, he won't die and Coles won't awaken. But no, it's
Mm-hmm.
too late. He's awoke.
Yep. Yep. And also, all the gods have awoken.
Right.
And he's basically saying like you need to get all your armies ready, like you're going to need everybody, they all need to be well for what is about to come because all the gods have awoken. And not all of them were I can't remember exact words, but like a fan of the primal of life or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get our final paragraph, which is basically, well, unless you have anything else.
I mean, I can save what I have to say for what I was saying
Fast and
about
Furious.
like the whole like how everything happened.
Okay.
So go
Okay.
go ahead and then
So our
I'll
final thesis statement from Nectis, or maybe we're gonna call this one a to-do list. Okay.
sure.
So we find Iris and Jadis. We return them to Elysium. We kill Colas. The end.
The end. Well, because as I'm reading here, I'm going, okay, hold on. This is like the final battle. We have books.
Mm.
We have so many books left to go still. Like, how is this a final battle? There's got to be more coming. This
Oh,
can't just
I
be
knew
like,
there's gonna be more. I knew these two worlds, these two books were gonna mesh at some point.
oh, totally.
And I
Isbeth was
told you it's
not the
gonna
big
be,
bad.
yeah, it's gonna be
Colas is the big bad.
gods versus Poppy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the way to put this. Mm-hmm.
Yep, the battle has just begun. I think that's how the whole book ends, is like the battle
Yep.
has just
Just
begun.
begun. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
you
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
circle back here real quick because I said I would, and we're really bad about actually circling back. I'm gonna circle back.
We're actually gonna
Um,
do it. Okay. I love this.
we can also throw this into like my ending thoughts. Okay, so back when we were talking about like so confusing, why did it have to be Malik or Poppy? It didn't make sense to me that Malik had to die. Okay, so Poppy wasn't supposed to be. As far
Mm-hmm.
as we know, when we read The Shadow and the Ember, like we said, there's the rot. There's supposed to be this bargain, I guess, or whatever, that if Nyktos is killed, the rot will stop. That we find out is not true. Whether she killed him or not, the rot would continue. It's about the balance.
Mm-hmm.
And so they basically strike a deal, which I'm sure we're going to learn more details about this deal that was struck in the next Flesh and Fire books that we read,
Mm-hmm.
but that no more primals will be born. There cannot be any more primals born. Not
Mm-hmm.
that there physically cannot be, it's just that, like, you will not conceive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that was partly why Malik was maybe not loved when he left Elysium, because he was out there sowing his wild oats. And he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't supposed to be, because the chances of a female being born that could carry on this primal line were high if he continued to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe that's why if Malik was killed, I still don't understand why Malik had to die. But anyways, Poppy, she basically she's talking to Reaver and she's like, "Okay, so I'm a loophole. I wasn't supposed to happen." So Isbeth learned of this. She had the two daughters. She tried to turn Millie into this person. That was going to be the loophole. Millie didn't work out. She has a second daughter, Poppy. Poppy works. She ascends. She becomes this primal. She's not supposed to be. Well, the balance is now upset. So now the rot is coming back. And I just had this last quote from the book. just simply because this is what I believe it's the final book is called. So I'm gonna read it here.
Okay.
Um, Nectus gaze settled back on me. You are not just a loophole. You're many things. The primal of blood and bone, the true primal of life and death. He spoke in the way that he had when he'd spoken of the consort, and the essence hummed through me. Those two essences have never existed in one, not in the consort, not in Nyktos. Is that a good or a bad thing? I whispered. That is yet to be known. So, I don't know.
The bringer of death and destruction.
And she was the bringer. They talk about that like she's the bringer. She was not the death and destruction. She just brought Malik. Malik
Mhm.
being stabbed unleashed the death and destruction
But
of
also her
Colas.
ascension brought death back,
Yeah.
which is starting the destruction.
I have a feeling that when we read this next, when we do our next, because our next one is the next Flesh and Fire book, that we're going to get some answers.
We better. Because I've
I
got
really
questions,
think we're
damn
going to
it.
get some answers.
Call me
Could you
Poppy. I've got
imagine?
questions.
Could you imagine reading these without having read Shadow in the Ember? I feel like I'd be so much more lost.
I think I'd be slightly more lost, but I think it'd still be interesting.
They do a good job of summarizing it, but
Mhm.
I'm glad we're reading it the way we are.
I am too. I am too, and I can't wait.
Me
Do
too.
you have anything else?
Nope. That's it for now.
Okay.
You?
I think I kind of gave my big overall thoughts is I think Malik could also be a stolen baby, I guess.
You and the stolen babies.
I think
I'm not
that
hating your theory, but
because
it just makes me laugh.
that would make Poppy a third child.
Yes,
And so
it
I think
would.
like that has like because remember we're talking about hold the essence or whatever is in the third children. That's how they make the revenants. Well, they can make the revenants. Colos can make the revenants. What if he's trying to make like a revenant primal from Poppy and he
Yeah.
needs the Draken to manifest this? I think
You
he's just
think
little
so hard about
scientists
all
over
this.
here. I think he's just little scientist over here making shit. Because remember, like that's what they said. Like the gods got bored and like would
Yeah,
make
yeah.
things.
Mm-hmm.
What if that's what Colas is doing and he's gonna destroy all the realms to do it?
Don't know.
But anyway, okay. Malik is um Poppy's brother, not Castiel's, because his family tree keeps getting fucking weirder.
Get weirder and weirder.
I don't think there actually is a heartmates thing. I think Malik knows or Malik knows most of this stuff, and he knows that that's his dad. Um, Valen is not bad. Miss Willa is either a goddess or she's Sora Sora.
Sorai or Eri or
No,
something.
no, Willa is
Oh, Satoria?
Satoria. There we go.
Satoria.
Jesus, I will
Satoria.
get this eventually.
You're good.
And or she's a goddess, but I think she's Satoria. Um, and I think she's going to be a big player in the Colas problem. I'm gonna call it the Colas problem from
Yeah.
now on. Um, yeah, and I'm really worried that Kieran is going to have to put Poppy to sleep. Not
Oh,
necessarily like kill
it's
her, but
gonna
entomb her.
happen. It's been said. Why would it have been said if it's not gonna happen?
Yeah,
It's freaking
exactly.
gonna happen.
Gonna happen at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But now that they're joined to her, they could go off and go on missions and they won't die because
They
she'll
will
still be
not
living
die.
in a tomb.
Okay, so what if, yes, what if she ends up getting entombed just simply to be able to enable them to go do what they need to do or something like
Go
that?
be
It's gonna
badass
happen.
boyfriends. I love it.
Boyfriends. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Okay. I think that's the most of my thoughts and theories.
And I think I'm 99% on board with you on that one. I still don't know about Malik being a stolen baby. I just find it hilarious that you're obsessed
I
with a
didn't
stolen baby.
I didn't
We're
mean
gonna
for
find
it
a
to be.
series where you don't find a
I
stolen
didn't mean for it to
baby.
be, and I'm still convinced Diem is, and we'll get there later. Eventually, maybe if book 4 ever comes out. Um,
Ugh.
Okay, so let's get into ratings and spicy level.
Yep.
Obviously, flame emoji.
Totally flame
Also,
emoji.
you know, not the worst flame emoji. Gonna say that.
Oh, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Let's just say that.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, your stars and cry counter, my friend.
I am 5 out of 5 for this book. There's literally nothing in this book that I hated. Truthfully, I
Nice.
can't think of anything that I can be critical about it. So,
Nice.
and so far for the series, I am at a 1 for the cry counter.
Yeah. I gave it 4.7 out of 5 stars
Hmm.
because the only thing I didn't care for is a little bit of like the jumping around. Like that kind of got old. We go here, we go there, we go here, we go there. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm just not a big fan of that. And maybe that's actually another reason I didn't like a different series, the first one we just did. Because a lot of the jumping around, I don't
Hmm.
know. That kind of bothers me.
That's good.
It could have been just like, okay, it took us 7 days to travel here, like, kind of thing. And then just
Yeah.
moving on when we get there instead of kind of
Yeah.
like little snippets along the road. And then cry counter for possibly the only time ever in history, I am ahead of you now
Ooh, what?
because I had an actual cry. Like they were happy
Ooh.
tears, but I did. There was 4 or 5 tears that came out when Delano came up and put his cold little wet nose on her. And I
Hmm.
was like, he's alive. He made it. Oh my God. Because I was pissed when he died.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's not coming back. But I kind of was like, okay, I knew like somebody was going to die during this battle. Like it was obvious.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like had accepted it. But when he came back was when I was so excited. And then I
Okay.
had my like 0.25 from something else that cute that Kieran did. That's all I remember. It was where I
Okay.
thought about crying, but nothing ever happened.
Okay.
That's all I got. I'm still
Dang.
shocked that I'm ahead of you somehow.
Me
Somehow.
too. Me too. I feel like if I had had a second to like breathe while I read the last few chapters when Delano died and all that stuff, I would have probably been with
I
you,
think
but
you would have too. Yeah, if you wouldn't have
I
been
was
just flying
just
through it.
flying through it trying to get done. Yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
all right. Okay, so we hope that you are all enjoying the series as much as we are. We are first-time readers to the series, so we hope that you're following along with us. Or if you've already read the series, we hope that our discussions can be a refresher for you before the book 6 comes out in a few short weeks. Make sure to join us on Facebook and Instagram for more fun and conversations.
As well as our Club on the Fable app, where you can discuss with us spoiler free, chapter by chapter. The next episode, we will have another bonus episode, which will be a discussion of Book 2 in the Flesh and Fire series by Jennifer Armentrout, A Light in the Flame. We will be we we will be discussing the book as a whole as we will be listening to the audio version. Then we will be jumping back over to the Blood and Ash series with A Soul of Ash and Blood. We'll be reading through the chapter titled Just a Name. I guess this book has like titles for
Oh,
each
okay.
chapter instead of numbers. Um, but I believe it is part of the end of present 6 is what it was.
Okay.
So I think there's like different
Interesting.
parts of it. Yeah, because it
Okay.
had like present 1, present 2, present 3, present 4, obviously through 6. So we will be stopping, like you'll put your bookmark on present 7. So
Okay.
don't read present 7. So read
Okay.
through Just a Name. I
Interesting. Okay.
hope that helped the confusion of this because I was very confused when I was trying to figure this out.
Okay,
And
cool.
also, just a fair warning, we will be doing a Soul of Ash and Blood in 2 sections so that we can be ready to rock and roll and
Hmm.
all that for September 23rd when book 6 comes out.
Awesome. So if you are enjoying reading along with us or just enjoying our conversations and theories, be sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button on your way out.
And buddy reading any book with book besties is so much fun.
So make sure to share our podcast with your book besties. And if you don't have any book besties,
Then consider yourself one of ours. And until next time, fill those drinks with ice.
and your books with spice.
Bye.
Bye.